Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about 8 times that Revlon went high-end with their products. So these are products that I think could compare to any high-end product out on the market and are definitely worth checking out. I think Revlon is one of those underrated brands at the drugstore. They don't get quite as much attention as Maybelline and L'Oreal and even CoverGirl, and I am definitely guilty of overlooking them in the past, but the more products I've tried from them, the more impressed I've been. And I know that they've had their issues with bankruptcy recently, and I would just hate to see them go under. They're one of the oldest makeup brands that are still in existence, and they have some truly amazing products. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start out with the first product, which is their Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Primer. So this is something that I overlooked many times at the drugstore, but I actually ended up purchasing it after hearing Mrs. Melissa M here on YouTube talking about it. She loved this primer, and so I decided to give it a try, and I was so impressed with this primer. It has a thicker, cushiony texture, and it feels very hydrating on my dry skin, so I love that about it. And I also think it does an amazing job at smoothing out pores and texture and just giving my skin a really nice canvas for applying foundation. It leaves a little bit of a sticky or tacky feel, so makeup really grips well to this. And I think that's an awesome combination because a lot of more smoothing primers tend to have more of a slick feel and foundation doesn't grip as well to those. And then some of the stickier primers don't always smooth your pores. And I think this actually does both of those things, which makes this a little bit more unique. And actually, I did compare this in a dupes video to the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. They are so incredibly similar. They have the same texture, the same feel on the skin, and if I were to use one on one side of my face and one on the other, I don't think I would be able to tell the difference because they perform so similarly. Another phenomenal product from Revlon is their Colorstay Skin Awaken 5-in-1 Concealer. This is a newer product that they launched, I would say maybe like 6 months ago, and Revlon's foundations and concealers have always been kind of hit or miss for me, so I really wasn't sure what to expect, but this is one of my absolute favorite concealers that I use all the time. This says that it has caffeine and vitamin C in the formula, and the 5 things that it claims to do is erase, perfect, brighten, hydrate, and refresh. And I feel like some of those kind of mean the same thing, but the claims aside, this just really performs so well. It has that little sponge tip applicator, which makes it really easy to just kind of dot around your eye area, and the formula blends out so seamlessly. It is super thin, yet actually has great coverage. When I first started applying this, I wasn't expecting it to cover much, but when I actually took a step back and looked at the eye that I just applied it to versus the other in the mirror, I was actually blown away by how perfected the eye with the concealer looked. It was so much brighter and more even toned, but the best part was when I looked at my skin up close, it didn't look like I was wearing concealer. There was no cakiness, there was no makeup-y look. It just really looked natural like my own skin, which was amazing. Now, having drier skin, I feel that this sets down enough that I do not need to set this product at all. If you have more oily skin, you might feel like you have to set it, but if you're drier like me, you might be able to get away with just using this on its own. So it is a fantastic product. You can also grab it in a color that's a little deeper than your skin tone, and the sponge tip applicator, again, makes it really easy to use as a contour wand or a bronzer. So it could be a great alternative to the new Tarte contour wand or the Charlotte Tilbury one at a much more affordable price, and the really thin, lightweight texture makes it so easy to blend, and just like using it under your eyes, it looks incredibly seamless on your skin. So I think that this is another incredible product from Revlon that is completely overlooked. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but this has become my new favorite concealer, so it's definitely worth checking out. Another product that Revlon recently revamped, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about them, are their powder blushes, and I believe the compact that they used to come in was a little bit smaller, or it was like this shape, but the actual powder itself was only in half the compact, and they've actually made them a lot bigger so they fill up the whole thing, which I really like. And they must have changed the formula because I don't remember actually loving these blushes before, but I tried them again after I saw Risa Does Makeup talking about them here on YouTube, and I had to pick up a couple of shades to try, and when I first started using these, they reminded me so much of my NARS blushes. I couldn't get over just how high-end this formula really is. They're really nicely pigmented, but at the same time, they just blend out on your cheeks without leaving any patchiness. And they're so finely milled that they just blend into your skin really well without sitting on top or looking powdery. And the colors that they come in are absolutely gorgeous as well. Today, I'm actually wearing Apricot, which you just saw me apply. And this is such a gorgeous rosy shade that reminds me a lot of the NARS Dolce Vita blush. They don't look identical, but once they're blended out on the cheeks, I think they really give the exact same look. And they're just as long lasting as the NARS blushes as well. I also love the shade Rosy Rendezvous, and this one is so similar to NARS Impassioned. Again, they're not identical, but they're a really similar baby pink shade. So if you're looking for an incredible powder blush at the drugstore that's pigmented, that's long lasting, and comes in gorgeous colors, definitely check these out. I think you'll love them. Another cheek product from Revlon that I have talked about quite a few times, but definitely is worth repeating, is their Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter. So this is actually a baked highlighter. I have it in the shade Daybreak Glimmer. This is made in Italy, and it is the smoothest, most gorgeous highlighter ever. By the way, I forgot to mention that the blushes, the primer, and the concealer are all made in the US. So this one is actually made in Italy, where a lot of baked products are made. And I've compared this many times to the Amrezy highlighter from Anastasia, which is no longer made. And the Amrezy highlighter is also a baked formula that's made in Italy. And if you didn't get your hands on it, I think the Revlon one is honestly identical. If I didn't actually look at the compact when I was using it, I wouldn't be able to tell which was which because they're that similar. It's rare to come across a dupe that is that exact, but this is definitely one of them. It has the same level of shine as the Amrezy one does, the same exact texture, the way they blend out on your skin. It is amazing. It also does come in other colors, but the Daybreak Glimmer shade is the one that's the dupe for the Amrezy. Next at number 5, we have the Skin Lights Prismatic Bronzer. So this is also a baked formula made in Italy, and it's one of the most beautiful bronzers in my collection. I actually have the shade 110 Sunlit Glow, but it does come in other shades as well. And I really love this color for my skin tone because it's more of a rosy bronzer, so it mimics that rosier color that I tend to get when I tan. And because it's a baked formula, it starts out as a cream, so it has some really nourishing ingredients in it, and it has that super finely milled texture that just almost melts into your skin rather than sitting on top. These bronzers do have a tiny bit of a glow, but there's nothing sparkly or glittery about it. It has sort of a satiny finish, which I really like, especially on my dry skin. It just sort of keeps it from looking flat or matte. And it actually reminds me so much of the Nabla baked bronzers. This shade that I have in the Nabla bronzer, Ambra, is very similar to Sunlit Glow from Revlon. And the Nabla one has the same effect on your skin with that little bit of a satiny glow to it and that ultra blendable baked formula. So this is yet another product from Revlon that I think could hold up to any other high-end product. Moving on, let's talk about some lip products, and my number one favorite lip product from Revlon would have to be their Glass Shine lipsticks. So I've heard rumors that these are being discontinued and they are getting super hard to find. You can still get them on Amazon. They have almost all of the shades except I can't find Rum Raisin because that one went completely viral on TikTok. Everybody was billing it as kind of the perfect shade for everybody, so that one is just about impossible to find. But Amazon has all the other colors, and I also find these in store at CVS. I want to say CVS is one of the only drugstores that's carrying them now, so definitely check out your local store or just go on Amazon because they have a ton of them over there. But despite these going viral on TikTok recently, I've been talking about these for years because they are one of the most comfortable lipsticks in my collection. They have an incredibly soft and melty balm-like texture, yet they have tons of pigmentation, so they're not as sheer as a lip balm would be. They give your lips a little bit of shine, a ton of hydration, and just that really cushiony, soft, non-sticky texture that just makes your lips feel so pillowy and soft. In some ways, they remind me a little bit of the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips, except they're not quite as glossy as those. These sort of melt into your lips a little bit more rather than sitting on top. So I find that these last a little bit longer than the Tarte ones. They don't transfer quite as much, although they do still transfer. They're not going to be something that's more bulletproof, and you will have to reapply them throughout the day, but I don't mind at all because I would much rather trade the longevity for having a formula that just keeps my lips feeling comfortable and smooth all day. day. So I am wearing one of these today, and this is the shade Black Cherry. So in the tube, this looks very intimidating. It looks almost black, but it goes onto your lips more of a rosy color. So it's really, really beautiful. I've actually been wearing this now for about an hour and a half, so I would say most of the shine is gone already, but it's just left a really nice stain behind, and the color reminds me a little bit of Clinique's Black Honey. It's such a beautiful shade if you just want to add a little bit more color to your lips, but you don't want to go full on red. I think it's absolutely perfect. Another one of my favorite colors is Glazed Mauve, and this one is basically a Your Lips But Better shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. I definitely want to get more, especially if these are going to be harder to find now that they're going viral on TikTok. I feel like all of the shades are going to start disappearing. But if you like a more comfortable lipstick that feels like a nourishing lip balm, you're going to absolutely love these. I should mention they do have a scent. It's a really nice vanilla scent. So for me personally, if my lip products are going to have a scent, I'd rather it be vanilla rather than something floral or even fruity. I would say vanilla is definitely the scent that I like the best, and these smell really good. Another lip product from Revlon worth mentioning are their Super Lustrous lipsticks. You guys actually talked me into getting one of these one time, and I just fell in love with this formula as well. If I want something that's gonna last a little bit longer than the Glass Shine lipsticks, these are perfect. They're very pigmented. They have more of a satiny type of finish. So they're not glossy, but they're not a flat matte either. The formula is very creamy, so they don't dry out my lips. And I think they have great staying power as well. And unlike a lot of other drugstore lipsticks, like the L'Oreal or Maybelline ones, these are completely unscented. So if you're looking for a really amazing lipstick formula with no scent that comes in tons of different colors to check out, I highly recommend these. I think they have something for everyone. Just be sure to check on the bottom of the tube because some of them have a pearl finish, which is a little bit more frosty, while others just have the regular cream finish. So if you don't want the frosty look, definitely stick with the cream ones, or if you do like the frosty ones, then those are still out there. And then another lip product that I had to mention from Revlon is the gloss. And these are just as good as any high-end lip gloss I've ever tried. These come in beautiful colors as well. And I really like the tube. I like how you can see the color straight through. It makes it super easy to know which color you're picking up. And these have a little bit of a chunkier doe foot applicator. It's not quite as big as the one that the Maybelline lifter glosses have or the Fenty gloss bombs, but it's on the larger side, so you don't have to keep dipping it back into the tube. I feel like it holds a lot of product and you can just put it on with one swipe. These have a really mild vanilla scent, and the formula reminds me a lot of the Maybelline lifter glosses. So if you like those, I think you'll really enjoy these too. These have that thicker, more cushiony feel that's not sticky at all. They almost feel more like a liquid lip balm versus a sticky or tacky gloss. Some of the shades have a little bit of shimmer in them, while others have a cream finish. But I just love these, and everybody talks about the lifter glosses from Maybelline, and I feel like these are just as good, and they come in beautiful colors. I actually just got this one recently, Shy Pink, and it's the most gorgeous color. It almost goes on clear, but it just has the slightest hint of, it's almost like a milky pink gloss, kind of similar to Buxom's White Russian. You can put this on top of any other lip color and it's not really going to change it that much, but it just adds a little bit of shine. So this is another product that I have no idea why nobody's talking about. It really feels like a true high-end lip gloss. So I just wanted to share these products with you because they don't get enough love and they truly are like high-end formulas at the drugstore. And if you like hearing about forgotten drugstore makeup, I'm going to put another video right up here in case you have some time and you'd like to check that one out next. I think we often get caught up in all of the new releases that we don't see what's right in front of us just sitting at our local drugstore. So definitely check these products out. And if you have already, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them down below. And I want to thank you guys so much for spending time here with me today. I really appreciate it so much. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if you like drugstore makeup. And I'll see you all in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.